Hello students, this video is for study session 4, that is Introduction to Computer Programming Languages. After you must have studied this session, you should be able to categorize computer programming languages, you should be able to discuss and explain low-level languages and high-level languages. Historically, instructions for computer processing in the early days of the computer had to be either wired on control panels or plugged into the machine at the start of a job processing, or had to be read from a punch cards in distant steps of the job processing. Any of these methods was very slow, since the computer had to wait for these instructions to be fed in by a computer operator. To speed up processing, the computer memory became useful to store instructions as well as data. This development introduced what was known as a stored program concept. The need to represent instructions in one form of code or the other gave birth to the notion of programming languages, and the first form of these codes became what is called the machine language. Hence, classification of programming languages are based on level, purpose, orientation, and translation methods. Now, let's take them one after the other. Level classification. With the birth of machine language, two broad categories of languages are as follows. We have the low-level language and the high-level language. That's on level classification. Now, under this purpose classification, you have general purpose languages and special purpose languages. A general purpose language is one that can be used to solve a variety of problem types. From what you have learned already about low-level language, it means that the lower the level, the more general purpose the language. A special purpose language is one that can be used for specific types of problems, such as language called word processing language, that is WPL, developed by Apple for word processing. Now, there is orientation classification. Under this classification, you have procedure-oriented languages and you have problem-oriented languages. In using a procedure-oriented language, you have to specify how to solve a problem by indicating the procedures the computer will follow step by step. However, in a problem-oriented language, you simply specify what to obtain as your result, while the development of the procedure is left to the language. Now, translation method classification. Under this, you have interpreter, compiler, and assembler. Among all the computer programming languages, only the machine language is in machine executable form. All other languages must be translated into zeros and ones. The only things understood by the computer, ones and zeros are the only things understood by computer. Hence, translators take the form of interpreter, compiler, and assembler. Now, let's discuss these three translators one by one. Interpreter. Some languages are interpreted by converting the source program into the machine language as the program is being executed. Interpreters translate code line by line, which therefore makes them run slowly than other translators. For example, Sonic Basic Language versions only interpret programs instead of compiling them. However, in Turbo Basic, KBasic, Basic 4GL, you can compile the basic source code into an executable code. The second translator is a compiler. Unlike an interpreter, like I said earlier, a compiler translates an entire program into machine language before the execution of the program. A compiler usually translates the source program into another program called the object program, which is the machine language version of the source code. With the object program created by your compiler, you will never use the source program again, except when you want to modify it. Generally, a compiled program runs faster than interpreted program. Now, let's look at the third translator, which is assembler. You have already been introduced to the assembly language, which is neither compiled nor interpreted. For the language, it is simply assembled. Since the assembly language is already close to the machine language, assembling a program is therefore less time consuming than compilation, that is the compiler. Now, let's look at the low-level language. Under this, we'll be discussing about machine language and assembly language. The advantages of machine language they are fast in execution. That means their speed is fast. There's storage saving. The programmer's full control of the computer and its capabilities. However, machine languages have some disadvantages as well. One, they are difficult to learn. They are highly prone to errors, and they are totally machine dependent. This means that the program written in machine language will only execute on the specific machine they were written. I hope you get that. Now let's look at the assembly language. Assembly language was developed in the early 1950s to alleviate some of the difficulties associated with machine language. Symbolic names or mnemonics were used to replace the binary codes of the machine language. Remember that a mnemonic means a memory aid. Hence, all assembly language instructions are they are easier to remember than the zeros and ones of the machine language instructions. Now, let's look at the advantages of assembly language. One, it is efficient in processing time and the use of memory space. It encourages, number two, it encourages modular programming where programs are broken into modules. Number three, it provides an error listing which is useful in debugging. Number four, it is very close to machine language. That means it makes it very fast as well. Just as you have seen the advantages, the disadvantages of machine language, the assembly language also has its own disadvantages. Some of these are: one, it is cumbersome in usage. Number two, assembly language has one-to-one relationship with machine language, meaning that one assembly language instruction is translated into one machine language instruction. This process leads to long program preparation time. Number three is assembly language is machine dependent, just like the machine language. Now let's look at high-level languages. You have learned about the low-level language, which is fundamentally machine dependent. In contrast to machine dependent of low-level language, high-level languages are machine independent. Examples are Fortran, BASIC, COBOL, Pascal, C, C++, C#, and Java, and so on and so forth. Students, this is the end of the class. Thank you for listening.